everyone, it's Caroline here from Aussie Cards and Crafts, and I'm just going to do a very quick tutorial today on some of the equipment we use and a lot of us as crafters take for granted as far as the hobby that we've got. I had somebody today ask me what was a die, and I kind of thought, I would have assumed that a lot of people would have known what that is, but it's probably because we've all been crafting a lot of us have been crafting for so long, but there's a lot of new people on our Facebook site who are only just new to it. So what I thought I'd do is do a very quick demonstration on actually what a die cutting machine is, what types of die cutting machines there are, talk about some possibly some a stamping platform, etc. etc. So basically what you see here is the basic die cutting machine, and this was my very first one and it's still one that I use today. It comes with some rollers that are in here. It comes with a base sheet there, and as you can see, this has had a lot of use, and of course my top plate as well. So the dies actually come, they are metal, and they have a cutting area around here. Now this is one that I've just actually got. I haven't even tried it yet, so I'm going to pop this through here. And these are baby ones that I've bought. I'm actually going to be a grandma soon, so I've got some baby dies. So I'm going to pop those through, and I'll just show you how they work. All you do is you use your hand, or use the handle, roll it through, and I tend to go back again the other way. This one is, as you can see, a size X. It's called a big shot machine. Okay, take that off, and there you can see we have our dies, and we'll take this one off, that's probably easier. And you can see it's got baby, I can't even read it, but basically it's baby boy, and yeah, it's really cute. And you can do all kinds of things. The one that I did this morning to demonstrate was just a leaf one, but this is a fantastic tool. It's just a pokey tool, and you can get them at any craft shops, and it just helps you get the little bits out. You can also use a roller for getting these out as well if you want, and I can show you that in a moment. So that is what we call a die and a die cutting machine, and that one says baby boy, I think. Okay, I'll just get that one out of the way. These machines come in various sizes, shapes. You can get electric ones, you can get little ones as well. Now this was my original one, and this is one that I used for years and years and years, and to store it I just put my plates in there and I'll pop it on the shelf. The next one that I got was this one here. Now this one is an electric one, and it took me many years to get an electric one, so I'm just looking for another die that I can quickly run through for you. So this one is a Couture Creations Go Power, and there we go, I'll use this one. And this one is actually an A4 machine, so you can see that the plates, well, you might not be able to see, but the plates are actually an A4 size. So if I can get some, I'll get another piece of paper just here, and I'll pop that just there. It only just fits on, but that's fine. You'll notice that I have got top and bottom, and the reason for that is the thicker plate of the two should be on the bottom for this particular machine. And I know me, I'll forget, so I put top and bottom, and I just use my labeling machine to do that. and I just pop that there. Quite often you'll see me on tutorials and I will tape it on. You press the power button on and the run. Takes all the hard work out of it. And when it comes through, and I will move this back over here so that it gets it out of the way. That's actually sat in that position there since I got it back in May. And once again, you've got your plates. I use, obviously, the C plate is the bottom plate, the B plate is the top plate. And I just have these in a bookshelf here so that I can always access them while I'm sitting down. And there you go. There is your die cut from that machine. You just pull it out. You'll see that some things get left in there. And when I was talking about a brush before, this is a really handy tool, and you can brush it from the other side and get rid of all of those bits and pieces that are in there. Okay, there's one stubborn little bit. Oops, wrong tool. That one there. Okay, so there's your electric die cutting machine, and of course you can do this in, I'm just doing it in white paper at the moment, but you can do it whatever you want. Okay, the next one that we've got is what we call a little sidekick, and this is a very, very small machine, and it comes with obviously smaller cutters and smaller, or not cutters, sorry, smaller, I'm just looking for them now. And I don't often use this one, I must admit, but sometimes when you're doing very small dies on very small pieces of paper, it's just handy. So let me get a small die of some kind out. Okay. So we'll just use this one, which is a part of a poinsettia. Once again, always keep the base part on the base, okay, because then you're just going to only damage one part, and it doesn't really damage it, it's how it is. But yeah, just pop it through. This one, for some reason, it goes the opposite way. Sorry. And it's literally designed that if you've got little bits that you want to do, you don't have to get your big machine out. And there we go. There it is. So that one's called the Sidekick, and that one is also a Sizex product. And an awesome little machine, as is the Go Power and Emboss, which is the Couture Creations. Now, any of these, if you can't get them in the stores, have a look online. Have a look on eBay and a lot of those online stores. Okay, another thing that I would like to show you just quickly on this, you'll sometimes see us talking about a stamping platform. Now, a stamping platform is somewhere that we actually stamp. If we use these ones here, this is the Cheeky Monkey set. I'll just go and grab some spare paper. With this, I'm just going to show how the Cheeky Monkey one works. I'll just cut that. Now, the best way to do it, to use this, is to actually bring it down to the left hand side, put your magnets on to keep it in one spot, and this is a little magic powder thing. I can't remember what it's called, but it's an anti-static pad that if you put it there, when you go to put your embossing powder on, it doesn't stick, it just falls off of there. This is what we call one of a Cheeky Monkey so I'm just going to use that one. You close that down, you lift it up, and you'll see just here that the actual stamp has just gone there. Now what we need is the Versamark. Okay, now that's the brand that I tend to use, and it's just like a sticky sponge, and you make sure that it is all over that. Always cover up your Versamark again. You press it down, and then you press and you just push to make sure that all of that very sticky Versamark is on there. The beauty of a stamping platform is I can just see that there, but I'm going to do it again. And because it's held in place with magnets, you will find that you can pop it down again and it will be in exactly the same position. So here we go. We pull that off. Now you won't be able to see that at the moment, but you will in just a few minutes. So I'm going to use some copper, which was the first one that came because it's only a demonstration. So I just use, you don't have to have one of these. For years I just used paper and then folded it in two and then pop it away again. You can see that the powder has actually picked up my monkey. So I'll pop this back in there and close that up so we don't spill it. The next thing that we do is, this is a gun. Now this is a very old gun. It's an embossing gun. It looks a bit like a hairdryer, but it's not. It gets a lot hotter. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to melt that powder that we've put on there. So the best way of doing it is to pop it on, and you can hear it running there, and you'll see, or you can actually see when it actually gets fairly hot. It's best to actually heat it before you pop it onto your project. So once it's hot, you can see that we are heating that up, and I'm hoping, if I bring it up close enough, that as it turns and as it melts, you will see it will go nice and shiny. It will go as we know it as being embossed. Here it goes. Okay. Just his ear there, looks like he needs a bit. And there we go. That is, as you can see, it's slightly raised. It's done with the copper. And there's one of my cheeky monkeys, and you can then colour that in. You can use it on a project or whatever you want. It doesn't have to be on scraps of paper. You can actually put cheeky monkeys all over a project if that's what you're wanting. So that is the how to do embossing. I've shown you how to use the die cutting machine. The only other thing I guess that I would tend to use as far as something, you know, starting out, is you do need to have a cutting board of some kind. Now this can be a guillotine, it can be a cutting board. I like my choices for this one, and the reason that I use this one a lot is because it's got the blade down there. Now because I do a lot, I find that I do need to replace this quite regularly. Sometimes the rotary ones are better, or a guillotine. Okay, so it's a very, very much a personal thing. The reason I like this is if we are cutting, let's just say I'm going to cut that to 3 inches. Let's make it 2 inches. So I'll cut it down there, nice and straight, nice and clear. And I will make this 3 inches. And let's say that I want to score it at 1.1¼ inches. I can use it all in the same, and there we go. So it is a really handy one. This one is a We Are Memory Keepers, I think. yeah, we are trim and scoreboard. So yeah. One last thing that I will show you just before I go, and that is the envelope board. Now, the envelope, when you make cards, sometimes they're really quite thick, so they have quite a bit of dimension on them. So you quite often will need to make your own envelope. And this is fantastic. I'm not going to make one today because I want to keep this really short, but you'll see that it's got the card size that you want, it's got the paper size that you need, and then it has where you actually score it. In fact, I'll just go and grab myself a piece of paper, and I'll So I've just got a piece of A4 here. So I am going to make one that will fit a card. Oh, let's say 4 inches by 5 inches. What I need for a 4 inch by 5 inch is a 7.5 by 7.5 piece of paper. So what I will do is I will cut this down to 7.5 by 7.5. And this is just a fairly thin piece of card. It's not a huge piece. 7.5 by 7.5. And I think I did that at 6.5. I did. Okay. Because it's only a demonstration, I'm just going to go with whatever I can. I'm going to do a 3 by 4.5 inch because that will be then 6.5 by 6.5. So 6.5 by 6.5. So that's the piece of card, and it tells you on your machine what you need. It then tells you for 6.5 and 6.5, it tells you that your first, your score line should be set at 2 3/4. So to do that, what you do is 2 3/4 inch, and you line that up just here. Press that down and use your scoring tool to go down this line, and you'll see that that is the continuation. What I then do is I turn it round 180 degrees and I go to exactly the same spot, which will be 2 3/4. So it's just there. Punch it down and press use your scoring tool. Then what you do is you line up this little part here with the line that you've already scored, and you'll see that if everything's lining up, this will all line up with the end of what you've just punched previously. So if we put that there, go around the other way, and once again line this little marker up with that, and then use this. And then all you do is, oh, I didn't, that's a bit silly, wasn't it? I didn't punch it there. So punch it, and then all you need to do is just fold it over and make your envelope. Okay, very, very, very simple. And there are a lot of different sizes on that punch board that you can use. There are also, I've made a mistake on this, but it doesn't matter, you can get the idea of it. So yeah, you can make all kinds and all sizes. If it's a size, it's an obscure size that you can't get on the punch board, just go online and say what size paper do I need, and what are the dimensions for an envelope of whatever size, and there will be conversions, and there'll be all kinds of things on there. So they're probably the main things that I would suggest, that if people are actually just starting out, I guess there's a few other things. Obviously, make sure you have a really good boning tool. I've got several here because that is really, really important. I can't find my other one. I've got a real favorite. Oh, here it is here. Okay, because when you're burnishing your folds, it's really important. The pokey tool I spoke to you about before. Also a good pencil, a nice really fine pencil. Always have a rubber around. You'll notice that I also used some tweezers, so they're always really handy to use. Double-sided tape, various types of double-sided tape, thicknesses, types, they're really handy to have, as is glues. I use this one quite regularly, but I also, for quick grab, I actually use this one here. So yeah, you don't need to have everything to start with. You really don't. Just build up your stash as you go. Hopefully it's helped some people out, and it would have explained what some of the things are that we use within our tools. There's also brushes, there's lots of other things that I could show you, but I wanted to keep it simple to actually show people what I use all the time as far as my crafting goes. If you've enjoyed the video, please just give me a thumbs up and maybe subscribe to my channel. I would really appreciate that. If you've got anything that you would like me to do a tutorial on, please don't hesitate to ask. Just go over to the Facebook page, and if you don't want to do it publicly, just private message me. I look forward to seeing you again, and yeah, hopefully I'll have a different kind of card to show you next time. Thank you.